S. Saravana, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. Course name Analog Circuits. Topic Digital to Analog Converter. A digital to analog converter converts a fixed point binary number into a concrete physical quantity. For example, a voltage or a pressure. In particular, digital to analog converter circuits are often used to convert finite precision time series data to a continuously varying physical signal. Other digital to analog converter methods produce a pulse density modulated signal that can then be filtered in a smooth way to produce a smoothly varying signal. There are two types of digital to analog conversion available. First one, binary weighted resistor digital to analog conversion. Second one, R2 to R ladder digital to analog converter. We'll see one by one. Binary weighted resistor digital to analog converter. This is the circuit diagram of the binary weighted digital to analog converter. Here, the non-inverting input of the circuit that is connected to the ground point, that is nothing but there is no voltage applied to the non-inverting terminal of the circuit, whereas there are three different voltages such as V1, V2 and V3 that is applied to the inverting terminal of the circuit through the resistor R, 2R and 4R. And also here one feedback resistor R is available. Therefore, the current flowing across that resistor is nothing but the summation of three currents I1 plus I2 plus I3. Therefore, the output voltage here represented by V out. So, this binary weighted resistor digital to analog converter employs the characteristics of the inverting summer operational amplifier circuit. So, in this type of digital to analog conversion, the output voltage is nothing but the inverted sum of the all the applied voltage at the inverting terminal of the circuit. If the input resistor values are set to the multiples of 2, such as R, 2R and 4R, therefore the output voltage would be equal to the sum of V1 plus V2 by 2 plus V3 by 4. Here V1 corresponds to the most significant bit, while V3 corresponds to least significant bit. The circuit uses a summing inverting amplification. This is the equivalent circuit of the binary weighted digital to analog conversion. This circuit contains n electronic switches. These are the switches, n number of electronic switches available here, and these switches are controlled by binary inputs such as A1, A2, A3 and A4. If the binary input is equal to 1, then the switch is connected to the reference voltage V reference. Here represented by minus V reference because we are connecting the reference voltage to the inverting terminal of the circuit. If suppose the binary input is equal to 0, then the switch is connected to ground point. The binary input AI, already we know that I value is 1 2, 3 and 4 have values of either 0 or 1. The value 0 of the binary input represents an open switch, while the binary value 1 represents a closed switch condition. Therefore, the operational amplifier used as a summing amplifier here, which gives a weighted sum of the binary input based on the voltage V reference. Therefore, the output voltage V output is equal to minus I into RF. So here substitute the value of I by using Ohm's law. Therefore, minus V reference into A1 by 2R plus A2 by 4R plus A3 by 8R plus A4 by 16R, that is multiplied by feedback resistance RF, that is equal to minus V reference into RF divided by here in the denominator we are having common R value. So take outside, therefore V output is equal to minus V reference into RF divided by R into A1 by 2 plus A2 by 4 plus A3 by 8 plus A4 by 16. That is equal to minus V reference into RF divided by R into A1 by 2 power 1 plus A2 by 2 power 2 plus A3 by 2 power 3 plus A4 by 2 power 4. Here we should notice the output has minus sign. What is the meaning of that minus sign means? That is nothing but the inverting amplifier's output has 180-degree phase difference with the applied input signal. For a n-bit digital to analog circuit, the relationship between the output voltage and the binary input is as follows. Therefore, V out is equal to minus V reference into RF divided by R summation I is equal to 1 to N AI by 2 per I. So we can substitute I value 1 to N. The most significant problem here is the large difference in the resistor values record between the least significant bit and most significant bit. Especially in case of high resolution digital to analog conversion, the circuit has large number of bits. For example, if suppose we are using 12-bit digital to analog converter, if the most significant bit is 1 kilo ohm, then the least significant bit is 2 meg ohms. So there is a vast difference between the most significant bit and least significant bit. And also the maintenance of accurate resistance over a large range of value is also a problematic one. So the second method R to 2R ladder digital to analog conversion. This is the circuit diagram of R to 2R ladder digital to analog conversion. Here also we are applying the input signal to the inverting terminal of the circuit, whereas the non-inverting terminal of the circuit connected to the ground position. That is nothing but we are not applying any signal to the non-inverting input of the circuit. And also here we are having one feedback resistor that is represented by 2R. This method is enhancement of the binary weighted resistor digital to analog converter is the R to 2R ladder network. This type of digital to analog converter utilizes the Thevenin's theorem in arriving at the desired output voltages. So this method speciality is nothing but it utilizes the Thevenin's theorem for getting the desired output voltage. The R to 2R ladder network consists of resistors with only two values, one value R and another value 2R. If each input is supplied either 0 volt or reference volt, the output voltage will be an analog equivalent of the binary value of the 3 bits, because here we used 3 bits. One is MSB, next one binary input, third one LSB. Here VS2 corresponds to the most significant bit, that is the topmost is the most significant bit, and VS naught, that is the least significant bit. Therefore, the output voltage we are taking from this circuit represented by the following equation. V out is equal to minus VMSB plus Vn plus VLSB. Here Vn is nothing but binary input, that is equal to minus of VMSB is nothing but V reference plus Vn is nothing but V reference divided by 2, and then VLSB is nothing but V reference by 4. Therefore, the output voltage is equal to minus of V reference plus V reference by 2 plus V reference by 4. Next one, analog to digital conversion. So this circuit provides the function just opposite to that of the digital to analog converter. So the circuit accepts an analog input voltage and produces an output as a binary value. There are three types of analog to digital converter available. First one, flash type converter, and second one, successive approximation type converter. Third one, dual slope A to D converter. But here I want to discuss about only two types. First one, flash type converter. This is the circuit diagram of the flash type converter, A to D converter. So this method is a direct conversion analog to digital conversion method or flash ADC. This circuit has a bank of comparators that will sampling the input signal parallelly. Here we are having bank of comparators or set of comparators. That comparators parallelly sampling the input signals, each firing for their decoded voltage range. The comparator bank feeds a logic circuit that generates a code for each voltage. That is nothing but we are applying the signal to the comparator. The output of the comparator applied to the encoder circuit. That is the meaning, original meaning. This type of conversion is a very fast method. This type of analog to digital converters have a large die size, high input capacitance, high power dissipation. They are often used for video, wideband communications, or other fast signals in optical storage applications. A flash type analog to digital converter, also known as a direct conversion, analog to digital converter is a type of A to D converter that uses a linear voltage ladder. This is the linear voltage ladder represented by reference resistor ladder with a comparator, set of comparators and bank of comparators. At each rung of a ladder, the comparator compare the input voltage with the reference voltage. So what are the inputs we are applying here for comparator is, one is input voltage, another voltage is the reference voltage. So the circuit often constructed by many resistors. Here we are having many number of resistors connected in series with the reference voltage. The output of the comparators is generally that is applied into a digital encoder. So that encoder converts the input into a binary value. The collected output from the comparators can be that of as a unique value. So this is a parallel A to D converter. This circuit is the simplest circuit. So we can easily handle this circuit. It is formed of a series of comparators. I already said that one. Each one comparing the input signal with the unique reference voltage. The comparator output connected to the input of the priority encoder circuit, which then produce the binary output. So here VR is a stable reference voltage provided by a precision voltage regulator. One precision voltage regulator only continuously generating the reference voltage. That is a part of the converter circuit. As the analog input voltage exceeds the reference voltage. So whenever we are applying the input voltage, that voltage exceeds the reference voltage at each comparator. What will happen that time? The comparator outputs will sequentially saturate to a high state. So input is high means the output of the comparator goes to high saturation state. The priority encoder generates a binary number based on the highest order active input, ignoring all other inputs. If suppose the input voltage applied to the comparator is lesser than the reference voltage, the comparator output is sequentially saturated to a low state value. Next method, successive approximation analog to digital conversion. This is the circuit diagram of the successive approximation method. So here successive approximation register available and one more digital to analog converter available and one more comparator circuit available here. We'll discuss the operation of successive approximation method. So successive approximation analog to digital conversion is the most important conversion technique based on a successive approximation register. That is a very, very important device here. This is also called by the name bit weighing conversion that employs a comparator to weigh the applied input voltage against the output of an n-bit digital to analog converter. That is nothing but comparator here available is compare the applied input voltage with the n-bit digital to analog converter output signal. So here successive approximation register converts samples at a rate of 1 megabits per second. It requires a low supply current. That is the one biggest advantage of this method. The successive approximation analog to digital converter circuit typically consists of four main parts. First one, a sample and hold circuit. This is the sample and hold circuit to acquire the input voltage V input. An analog voltage comparator. Next one, analog voltage comparator that compares the sampled input with the output of the digital to analog converter and outputs the result of the comparison to the successive approximation register. That is nothing but the comparator output that is given to the input of the SAR. Third one, a successive approximation register subcircuit that is designed to supply an approximate digital code of input voltage to the internal digital to analog converter. An internal reference digital to analog converter that supplies the comparator with an analog voltage. That is nothing but digital to analog converter produces the analog voltage that is given as the one of the input for the comparator. The successive approximation register is initialized. Initially, we are assigning a value to the SAR so that the most significant bit is equal to a digital value 1. Now we are setting SAR as 1. This code is fed to the digital to analog converter. Then this digital to analog converter supplies the analog equivalent of the digital code. That is nothing but V reference by 2 into the comparator circuit for comparison with the sampled input voltage. If this analog voltage exceeds the V input, the comparator produces the signal to the SAR to reset this pin. That is nothing but the analog voltage, whatever we obtain from the digital to analog converter, when it exceeds the applied input voltage, at that time, the SAR reset its bits. Otherwise, the bit is kept at the or maintained at the value of 1. Then the next bit is set to 1. And the same test is going on. This process is a continuous process up to the SAR has been tested fully. The resulting code is the digital approximation of the sampled input voltage and is finally output by the digital to analog converter at the end of the conversion. A successive approximation digital to analog converter uses a comparator to reject range of voltage. Here the comparator used is reject the ranges of voltage, eventually settling on a final voltage range. It can't accept all the ranges of voltage. Successive approximation circuit works by constantly comparing the input voltage to the output of an internal digital to analog converter. That is this successive approximation method that is continuously working by comparing the sampled input voltage with the voltage obtained from the digital to analog converter at the converter until the best approximation obtained. At each step in this process, a binary value of the approximation that is stored in the successive approximation register. So the successive approximation register uses a reference voltage for comparison. It has one reference voltage for comparison. Next one, switched capacitor filter. This is the basic diagram of the switched capacitor resistor. The simplest switched capacitor circuit is the switched capacitor resistor. The circuit made up of capacitor C and two switches S1 and S2, which connect the capacitor with a given frequency alternatively to the input and output of the switched capacitor. So this capacitor used to connect the switch S1 and S2 with the input and output. Each switching cycle transfers a charge Q from the input to the output at the switching frequency F. For each and every cycle of transferring one charge Q that is transferred from input to output at the switching frequency F, the charge Q on a capacitor C with a voltage V between the plate is given by this formula. Q is equal to C into V. C is nothing but capacitance value and V is nothing but the voltage drop across the capacitor. Q is nothing but charge of the capacitor, where V is the voltage. Therefore, when the switch S1 is closed while S2 is open, the charge transferred from the source to the capacitance Cs. So that is represented by this equation. Q in is equal to Cs into V input. V input is nothing but input voltage, applied input voltage. And when S2 is closed while S1 is open, the charge transferred from the capacitor Cs to the load or output. That and also represented by this equation Q out, that is equal to Cs into V out. The charge transferred in each cycle in general represented by Q, that is equal to Q out minus Q in, that is equal to Cs of the difference between the output voltage and input voltage. Since a charge Q is transferred at a frequency rate F, the rate of transfer of charge per unit time, that is nothing but current I. So we can represent that by equation I is equal to Q into F. Here I is the current and F is the rate of change of frequency. Note that we use the current I, the symbol for the electric current, for this quantity. This is to demonstrate that a continuous transfer of charge from one node to another node is nothing but a current. Substituting the value of Q in this equation, we can get the current equation I, that is equal to Cs into the output voltage minus input voltage into F. Let us define the voltage V across the switched capacitor from the input to output. That is nothing but V is equal to the output voltage minus input voltage. We now have a relationship between the current I and voltage V, which can be rearranged to give the equivalent resistance R. By using the Ohm's law, R is equal to V by I, that is equal to 1 divided by Cs into F. Cs is nothing but capacitor. So here the switched capacitor behaves like a resistor whose value always depends on the capacitance and frequency value. So R is inversely proportional to the capacitance value Cs and frequency value F. Whenever the frequency value increases, that time resistance value goes on decrease, and also whenever the capacitance value increases, the resistance value goes on decreases. The switched capacitor resistor is used as a replacement for the simple resistors in integrator circuit because it is easy to fabricate and also reliable with a wide range of values. This circuit also has the benefit that its value can be adjusted by changing the switching frequency. So this switched capacitor circuit also used in operational amplifier applications. This same circuit can be used in discrete time system such as analog to digital converter for tracking and holding the circuit. During the appropriate clock phase, if suppose first clock phase, the capacitor samples the analog voltage through the capacitance, and in the second phase presents this sampled value to an electronic circuit for further processing. Switched capacitor circuits. In the last decade are so many active filters with the resistors and capacitors have been replaced with a special kind of filter called by the name switched capacitor filter. This switched capacitor filter allows for very sophisticated, accurate and tunable analog circuits to be manufactured without using resistors. So this circuit is a very useful device. This is useful for several reasons. One among that one is resistors are hard to build on integrator circuit. Within integrator circuit, building or inserting the resistor is a very problematic one, and the circuits can be made to depends on the ratios of the capacitor values and not absolute values. Next one, the switched capacitor resistor. So to understand how the switched capacitor circuit works, consider this circuit with a capacitor connected to two switches and two different voltages. Here V2 is the input voltage, V1 is the output voltage. S2 and S1 are two switches. C1 is nothing but capacitor. If S2 closes with S1 open, S2 closed while S1 open, and also we can close S1 and open S2. A charge Q is transferred from V2 to V1. That is del Q is equal to C1 into V2 minus V1. If this switching process is repeated for n times in a time period t, the amount of the charge transfer per unit time is nothing but we know that current I. So del Q by del T, that is equal to C1 into V2 minus V1, difference between the voltages, and multiplied by N divided by del T, because N is nothing but N times with the time period del T. So here the left hand side representing the current I already told. So we can rewrite this equation. I is equal to C1 into V2 minus V1 F clock. This is represented by F clock. So after rearranging this equation, we are getting V2 minus V1 divided by I is equal to 1 divided by C1 into F clock. That is nothing but R by using the Ohm's law, which states that the switched capacitor is equivalent to a resistor R. The value of this resistor decreases with increasing switching frequency. I already explained those concepts. Next one, the switched capacitor integrator. So here we consider the switched capacitor integrator. The output voltage of the switched capacitor integrator V naught of T is equal to minus 1 divided by RC2 integral of the applied input voltage. Integrator is nothing but that will integrate the applied input voltage V1 of T into Tt. That is equal to minus omega dash integral of V1 of T dt. We can also rewrite this equation by using S notation. So the output voltage is equal to minus omega dash divided by S. So if suppose we are replacing the input resistor with a switched capacitor resistor, after we can rewrite the omega dash value is equal to 1 by RC2 into F clock into C1 by C2. These two capacitors present at the switched capacitor integrator circuit. So we can change the equivalent omega dash of the circuit by changing the clock frequency F clock. So the value of omega dash can be set very precisely because it depends only on the ratio of C1 and C2 and not their absolute value. Thank you.